Hello, guys, and welcome. This is Ryan of Ryan Edit Photography here for Teach Tuesdays. And for today, we are going to begin our Lightroom tutorial. So whether you're a beginner or maybe a little bit more advanced, hopefully there's some things here you can pick up and learn from these video series for Lightroom. First of all, I would like you to like the video and hit the subscribe button. It'll definitely help us grow the channel, and I really appreciate the support. Since we are going to walk you through how Lightroom works, what's Lightroom. First of all, Lightroom is a program by Adobe that is meant for editing a huge volume, like a batch of photos. So it's very much the industry standard in wedding photography and for portraits. There's other programs out there, but it's not as efficient in editing a high amount of photos. Other softwares out there are like Capture One and other, especially in a format that's produced by professional cameras, DSLRs, which is the RAW format, if you're not familiar. So let's get to it. Before I fire up Lightroom, it needs for you to hit the like button on the video and subscribe. It helps the algorithms so much. So once you fire up Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, we are using Lightroom Classic. You will be greeted by the library panel. So you'll see here, let me just move this over here. When you start in Lightroom, you'll be greeted by the catalog. You start off in the catalog window. Let's see if I can move this. Yep, over here. There you go. Okay. So the catalog window would have library, develop, map. These are different panels. All right. So on the top right will be different panels. You will start here in the library. Right. This is where you want to start off. So in Lightroom, once you start a project or a work, it's going to be saved as a catalog. All right. So the catalog is your project file, or your file that's going to be what you're working out of. So in wedding photography, how we do is per project or per client is saved as a catalog. So that means whatever images that's going to be having to do with that client, certain client or project, it's all going to be in that, saved inside that catalog. So we do that because if you could also do this. It's not, I'm not saying this is the only way to do things. It's the correct way to do things. Decide what is better for you. You can just create one catalog and just keep adding photos into it as you, maybe you're just starting out and you're just trying to figure out how all of this works. So you could just create one catalog and keep importing your images into that catalog. But what's going to happen is the more images that gets added to it, so more information is saved into that catalog, the bigger the file size gets. And once the file gets really big, it's more harder to manage because the loading times will slow down definitely as a lot more information is being added to it, to the catalog. The bigger and the more prone it's going to be for corruption, right? So just for me as a working professional. It works better for me in my workflow that I save each and every project as its own separate catalog. So that's I hope that explains the catalog side of things. And all right, so I'll show you how to create a new catalog. All right, just making sure you guys are seeing my screen. So if you go down here, also on Windows, you'll be able to see the same positioning of where everything is. So file, so you're gonna start a new catalog. So in this case, we're just gonna name our catalog test, since this is a test for the sake of demonstration. So Lightroom has restarted. Bring you back to that screen. Here we go. We're back here again. So this is the catalog that we created. So it's, you see the name up here, it's called test. So there's nothing. So right now we're still in the library panel and there's nothing in here. All right, just make sure. There's side panels over here on your right and panels here on the left. On the left is just a where a navigator, catalog, folders, collections, and some other things. This part is kind of, you don't really need to worry. And here is just a quick quick settings where you can make your own, adjust some settings as soon as we import a file. All right. And these here on the bottom is how you're viewing the files. So if you highlight, it'll say this is, it's kind of the icon kind of lends itself to what it's gonna do. So you're gonna see it in this kind of gridded panel, and this is for just a single image. This is XY kind of compare view, and then survey view, and then this is just recognizing, like, facial recognition. All right, and then we will explain some of it as we go. So first, so once you created your catalog, right? Next step is importing your first file. So that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna take you to your computer browser, kind of file browser. So you're gonna navigate and find your file that you wanna import. So if you have photos fresh out of camera, like raw photos, this is, and once you determine what you're gonna bring into Lightroom, which is kind of a process called culling. So you're taking your favorites, the unusable to the usable. You know, if people blink once you were taking a picture and then you took another frame after it, and the one everybody's eyes were open, and so that's the one you pick, right? So, or you can do that in Lightroom, import everything, and then just formulate a process that would eliminate, you know, the usable ones from the non-usable ones. So I'm going to locate my sample photos. So we're gonna go here to the test, and then I see one photo. So this is the file name, CR2 extension. That's kind of the file type. So CR2 is for Canon. So for Nikon, I don't remember. Maybe I'll put it here if I remember, or other file types. Yeah, you'll see it here. All right. So once you highlight a photo, you see this or check box here. So if you have like 4 of them here, you'll be able to just use the checkbox to just selectively pick which ones are going to be imported. So you can uncheck all, check all, shortcut. You could view them as like the whole image, or if you would just want to see them gridded, like displayed here, you could like get a quick overview. You can even change the sort. You can manage the sort by file name here, and this is adjusting how big the thumbnails get. See how that's all right. So on to, so make sure you're on ad, right? You don't even need to bother with these, because move will take it out of the, like, let's say you're copying it from a memory card, so it'll like physically move it, not make a copy. So right here we're importing, that means it's just going into the catalog. The file will still be the same where it is. It's not gonna get physically move or physically duplicated. It's just the program Lightroom is just gonna import a render of that file. All right, so here, next up is an option. Let's just move this here. An option to build previews. So what previews does is Lightroom will create, will render previews so that you could view your images faster. Instead of, if you don't build previews, once you go start editing, every time you go to the photo, Lightroom would have to build a render of the raw file, which is gonna definitely slow the process down. But if you let it build a preview, it'll create like a preview, another subfile that would contain all the previews, which would let it look at the photos. Like if you zoom in, it'll be way a lot faster. So definitely, you could pick what you want, whatever works for you. 1-for-1 standard. One-to-one previews is really good if you need to zoom in on the picture when you're editing, or yeah, that's what. Or you could just, if you think you don't feel like it creating more files, like bigger files, then excuse me, this glass is getting itchy by the ear. So all right, so checkbox, don't import suspected duplicates. This one, add to collection, is something advanced. We'll just stick to the basic ones. So these, so develop, apply during import. So these are automation. So automations are to make things more like automated, things more automatic, that help you get faster with the whole process. So if you save a certain particular of editing settings that you do anyway on a regular basis, every time you import photos, you adjust this, you adjust that, you can save it as a preset. So that preset is going to be, if you pick it here as a develop setting, then as soon as you import a photo, it'll be applied. So think about how much time that would save you. Instead of doing the same redundant process, you could just import the develop setting. And then metadata, it's the data that gets embedded onto the file with regards to author, if you're the original author of the image, or location, whatever things that copyright, like trademark, those are all created here. You can create new and then set your own metadata that gets applied to it. And keywords, like for searching, you could keyword your whatever type of project it is. You can keyword it depending. You can keyword it by location. Let's say this is the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia. So, and then you separate the keywords by commas. So Philadelphia, engagement photos. You could just set the keywords relative to the images that you are importing. So it's really up to you how you would set those. And then once all of that's done, you can now hit import. But before you hit import, make sure you like the video and hit subscribe and turn on the bell notifications for the next series of tutorials. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna hit import. Also, smart previews, it's up to you if you want to do it or not. Smart previews are a little bit more an advanced feature, which we will explain on another video. More advanced stuff, I just want to mention, will be on our Patreon page. We have a lot more in-depth and more exclusive content on our Patreon. So if you feel like learning more from me and getting more in-depth and specific, and you'll have the chance to actually request a specific topic or a one-on-one chat with me if you're a Patreon. All right, so make sure you check our Patreon page. So I'm gonna hit import. All right, so a smart preview is built. You can see here, this is where the loading time of its importing the photo. So once you're ready, I'm still on the library panel, as you can see, but there's a series of settings here where you can make adjustments. These are for exposure, clarity, vibrant. So even white balance. So quick develop. This is kind of like a shortcut, like a but you do it's more advisable to go to the develop panel because there's a lot more controls in there. So keywording, you can, this is where you can make presets. Like if you're gonna just type everything over and over again, might as well save a keyword tag that you could just load in every time. So, and then comments, and that's not as necessary. So I think we are gonna end this video here as your very first introductory into Lightroom, how to import photos. I know it's really for basic tutorial, but I want to lay the groundwork for since the channel we're just launching, and I want to have some baseline for everyone that's going to be here learning with us, learning with me. All right, so tune in for the next tutorial, which we're going to go to the next step, because we have already imported our photo and now we're going to be ready to start making adjustments. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Ryan of Ryan Edit Photography. I hope you guys found value and learned something out of this tutorial. Make sure to hit the like button on the video, hit subscribe and all that. It will definitely help the channel, and I appreciate all of your support. Take care, stay safe, and peace out. Ciao.